Hey guys, welcome to another segment of What's Your Issue? I'm Bernice.
And I'm Oneishea.
And today we have a very interesting topic for you.
We're going to talk about reestablishing trust once that has been broken in a friendship. You know, we all have friendships, different types of friendships.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, as with dealing with people and communicating, things happen, right? So today we want to delve into that. So we hope you guys enjoy it. We all know how fragile trust is and how hard it is to reestablish once it's been broken. In friendship, trust is even more precious because your friends are like the families you choose. They accept you for who you are and as you are. So when there's a betrayal of friendship, it can be devastating or in most cases, life-altering.
Yes, definitely. And I've experienced betrayal in friendships, and honestly, it wasn't something that I was expecting. It blindsides you. And sometimes when these things do happen, you revert to your defense mechanism as a way to cope. And then at times too, right? Like you seek out your friends' support just so that you can gain some new light and some perspective on the situation.
Right. Like Albert Einstein once says, whomever is careless in small matters cannot be trusted with large matters,
Exactly.
right? So, you just have to be, I guess, mindful of how you approach a situation whenever you feel like someone has betrayed you.
Definitely. And as well, all friendships are important. However, we do need to understand that not everybody is meant to be on this journey. So when you do go through that phase of betrayal, you have to sit down, be honest with yourself and see if the friendship is worth rehashing. And understand that the outcome may not be favorable to you. So just having that in mind and just being prepared for that and going in should help you, hopefully, start the right path. Navigate and just navigate the reconnecting.
Yeah, like, and so once that has been thought through, because we have to understand the process is going to be different for each individual, right? Like the process of reconnecting or reestablishing trust is going to be different for each individual. And once that's been thought through, you have to know, you have to be ready to reconnect or ready to rebuild those bonds. So we know that each person is going to go through their own journeys, is going to be different. So we have a few tips. We have like 4 tips.
Yeah.
And we hope that these tips might be helpful to you. So the first tip is be open to reconnection, meaning decide if the relationship is worth it. Now you might be saying to yourself, of course I want to reconnect, but do you really? I mean, yeah, like, do you really want to reconnect with this person who has betrayed you? Like, tear apart your trust.
Exactly.
Like, this is something that you really need to think about, because are you listening to the voices of other people? Like, are you being influenced by your friends who might be saying to you, you know, oh, you guys have known each other for so long, don't throw that away? Or are you reminiscing on all the good times and not really looking for the relationship as it is? So what we really mean by this is that you have to be certain for yourself, not based on what other people have said or what people are saying to you. You have to be certain that you are open to reconnect with this person, because by allowing yourself to reconnect with this person, you also have to accept that you will open yourself up to being hurt potentially again, right?
Definitely.
So it's a choice, it's a decision that you have to be honest about and be open to make it.
Definitely. And as well, accept neither you or the other person are perfect. You have to go in understanding that everybody comes with their faults, right? And experiences shape many of us in making certain decisions and how we perceive things. So go in there, understand that that person is going to be coming in with their lived experiences. They're not perfect. You need to go in understanding that you're not perfect yourself. You're also coming in with your lived experiences and how you cope and deal with certain situations.
Exactly.
So it's very, very important. And once you're able to do that, then that process can begin in terms of really opening up to that other person, and having them truly open up to you and being able to move forward.
Right. Like, this is the stage where, like, you have to do some self-assessment.
Definitely.
And just as you are willing to acknowledge somebody else's faults, you have to also be willing to acknowledge your faults.
Definitely.
And that's easier said than done. We're all talking about, you know, like we all like, yes, that person did this, that to me. But when it comes to pinpoint how we have harmed people, we're not so open to acknowledge that. And it's important to understand that, yeah, you can be right, but you can also hurt someone.
Definitely.
Right? And so with that being said, you really have to look at situations in the past that you may have ignored that gave you the inclination that, you know, the relationship was not as steady or as okay as you thought it might be. And you have to look at yourself and reflect, like, what did I ignore? What did I let slide that may have contributed to this current betrayal or current conflict? Not saying that you know, you are at fault as well as the other person, but just saying that you also need to look at yourself, look at your faults while you're looking at the other person's before you guys can proceed.
Acknowledgement of all perspectives and knowing that we're not perfect.
Right, yeah.
And then the third tip would be defining communication styles that work for the both of you.
Right.
So in this case, defining, okay, so me and Oneishea have had an issue and we're trying to reconnect. So I would say to Oneishea, like, Oneishea, rather than texting me, I prefer that you call me, you know, and we talk over our issues versus texting, which may at times, sometimes I may text something to you, Oneishea, but you may perceive it in a negative way. So defining that style of communication, if it's emailing you prefer, define that. If it's meeting up in person that you guys prefer, define that. Set that date, set that time. Make time and define a style of communication that will work for you guys to alleviate any nonsense that will harm your newfound friendship.
Right, or the relationship you're trying to establish.
Exactly.
Because what's also important about establishing, like, the communication is also, at this point, you're establishing boundaries.
Definitely.
Right? And you're establishing boundaries knowing that, okay, how our relationship was in the past, it has changed. Yeah. So now we're trying to build a different relationship, a new relationship, and we both need to have things in place so that we don't revert to, like, our old behaviors or fall back into, like, the things that brought, like, conflict into the current relationship, right? Exactly. Like, you and your friend needs to really sit down and figure out, how do you guys best receive messages?
Definitely.
Like, I have friendships too, like, obviously, but, like,
does she really?
People like me, okay, chill. And even though those are, like, long-standing relationships, there's still times when there are misunderstandings. There's still times when, like, communication is not as clear as we hoped it would be, right? Definitely. And so it's always important to have those boundaries established and those boundaries worked out so your friend understands, like, when you say this or how this is what this means to you in the way you say it. You see what we're trying to say? So, like, you have to establish, like, a protocol for communication. That is important.
Very, very important.
Yeah. So our final and fourth step is to let go of the hurt. Now, this might sound like it's simple, but I think, like, we all know this is harder than it is. It's very difficult. Now, a lot of people might be like, yeah, I'm over it. It happened a long time ago. It doesn't bother me anymore. Like, whatever, it's no big deal. It's no big deal.
That's a lie.
Until that one little thing happens.
Exactly.
And then your ass is right back to where you were, remembering all the things that this person did to you that you're really not over.
Yeah, you're like, fucking Oneishea.
You're not going to say that. But the point is, if you're not able to let go of the hurt, you're not able to reconnect with this person. Yeah. Now, don't misunderstand us. We're not saying, oh, forget what happened and just, move on like it didn't. It didn't happen. That's not what we're saying. Mm-hmm. What we're saying is grieve for what happened. Acknowledge what happened. Take your time and deal with the process of what happened.
Exactly.
But do not pretend like you were not negatively impacted and just bury it, push it aside, and try to reestablish a relationship without really acknowledging the pain and the loss of that previous relationship. Exactly. Because right now you're building a new relationship, right? Mm-hmm. And if you cannot let go of the hurt of the old relationship, there is no way you're going to convince anybody that you're willing and you're ready to reestablish, reconnect with a person who has betrayed you.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
And listen, we're not saying that this is easy, and we're not saying that this is something you have to do, but we're saying that if you want to rebuild trust with a friend, this is a necessary part of the process.
Yeah, definitely.
And like everybody do things like at their own pace.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? So when you are ready, you can do this. if you're not ready now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, if you're not ready to let go of the hurt, like just be honest with yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I'm not ready.
Definitely.
You know, and then you can wait.
Definitely.
That's what we would say. Wait until you're ready. Like, that's what I would say to anybody who asked me for, you know, from my perspective or information or advice on what they should do if they were in the same situation. Like, wait until you're ready. But if you're not willing to let go of the hurt, then
don't rehash anything, because then this whole process would be a waste. And if anything too, you could be causing more harm, which will be even more detrimental to where you guys actually are.
Right. So be ready. If you're ready and you know that, you know, I've dealt with it, I'm ready to try again, then yeah, why not? But if you know that you cannot, you just deep in your soul, you cannot let go. That bitch harmed you.
Yes, and you can't let it go.
Then maybe you don't want to reconnect, because I don't think it's gonna last. I'm just saying.
It doesn't make any sense.
But it's your relationship. But I'm just saying, it might not go nowhere. Anyway.
So just putting it all together, just remember to sit down, analyze, be very honest and authentic with yourself. Like Nisha said, let it go. If you are not at that point where you can let it go, just let Father Time take its course until you are ready to truly progress and really connect with that person. Yeah. And that's very, very important.
It is.
And just also remember too that not everybody is meant to be with you on this journey.
Yeah.
No matter how much you like them, no matter how connected they are, how long you've known them, sometimes we do have to let people go.
And that's just part of life.
Definitely.
You know? So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. We're glad to have you here. You know, you guys remember that you are the expert in your own life. We hope you enjoy this, and we hope to see you again. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Like, subscribe, and share. Tell your friends all about this. We're back. We missed you guys
so much. Missed you so much.
Gotta blow kisses.